What's up, y'all? This is Ty. I am here to review season 4, episode 2 of Power Book 3, Raising Canaan. And the episode is titled It's All Love. Now, before I get into this review, you know what I gotta do. I gotta give a shout out to my lovely subscribers, all 4 million of you. Yes, I said 4 million because you know I be a brother is speaking it into existence. But shout outs to my subscribers that are watching this show and leaving comments. So shout outs to you, Lamont Simpson. Shout outs to Tayon's World, Dale, the RC Kroger, P. Bronson, Demarcus Vaughn, and all the rest of you. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Demarcus Vaughn who had mentioned in the comments last week that that Rock is getting pregnant by the ops and the cops. That was really funny. I like that. She getting pregnant by the ops and the cops. And it's a true statement. So anyway, this episode picks up. Now we're getting, last episode was the flashbacks of what the events that led to the season 3 season finale. And now this is catching us up to what happened after those events. So we see Jukebox. Jukebox is in the army. G.I. Jane now. She's in the army doing her thing, whatever. She's doing pretty well in this. I said, okay, so we're going to get some more episodes. I guess we're going to see her this season progressing in the army. And I was wrong at that because she ends up leaving the army. Why does she leave the army? Because she finds out that one of her colleagues is being let go from the army, being discharged because homeboy's gay. And they found some stuff in his room, some magazines and stuff that implied that he was gay, and they can't have that. Around that time, none of that can take place. So she was turned off and disgusted by that because of course Jukebox is gay. So she's like, well, what is this about? And when her other colleague made that remark about, yeah, I'm glad they're getting rid of him because I don't want knowing, he called him out his name. She was like, you know what? F you. So then she leaves. So now Jukebox has decided that she's going to go pay a visit to her friend Aisha. And Aisha's at Spelman College. So she gets on the bus and goes down to Spelman College. I mean, y'all saw it. I got all tongue-tied right there. Down to Spelman College. And they have sex. And, I'm like, okay, so now I guess we're going to see Jukebox down here with Aisha. And I'm wrong again because Aisha tells her, listen, you cool and everything, and I'm feeling you, but I need to work all this out on my own. So pretty much telling her, right now, let me just do this alone. So now Jukebox is now returning to New York to be with her family. Meanwhile, we learned that the NYPD done had a press conference in regards to Detective Howard's death, along with Ronnie's death. And they done put these two together as being in cahoots with each other, and that Howard was a dirty cop, and that some foreigners, something like that. They just, they were handled by some foreign forces, and really this has pissed off Captain Louis Baptiste because he's like, listen, dirty cop or not, we not gonna just sweep this under the rug. So he tells Detective Garcia, he says, listen, we are going to still investigate. I know the task force is done, which that's good for Rock and all of them. The task force is disbanded now, but he's like, but they still got to worry about the FBI. The task force is disbanded, but he's like, you know what? No, they probably gonna make me retire in 6 months, but right now, he says to Garcia, he says, right now, this case, no matter how dirty Howard may have been, this case is still open. We're going to investigate his death because I still believe that the person who shot him the first time is probably one behind this. That killer's out there, and we're going to get that killer. And I was like, okay, interesting. And we see in this episode Garcia pursuing and harassing Kanan. So, that all of that was interesting. So that's crazy. Meanwhile, Unique is traveling to his old stomping grounds, goes to his old house. And he's still lurking in the shadows, watching everybody. We see him watching his the mother of his children. He's just going through it emotionally. When he visits the old house, he gets all upset and he punches a hole in the wall. He's still laying low and watching. And I'm like, okay, he's still checking things out behind the scenes. Also, speaking of checking out, Lulu is being checked out of the rehab. Marvin goes to get him. They have a brotherly conversation, which was pretty good. Now Lulu has some prospects going on. He comes out, and this record producer wants to see him, wants to have him head up a hip hop label imprint, be the head of it. But Lulu says at first, no, not right now. I'm still, I want to clear my head and all those things. And the guy was funny. It was comic relief with that guy who was pretty much saying, listen, I've been in rehab before, I know all that stuff. And listen, you'll be fine, this, that, and the third. Real fast talking. But, Lulu's trying to, work through some things. And they want to know where, because apparently this song with Famous is doing pretty well. So he's like, you in that song with Famous? And they're like, where is Famous? Now y'all help me, where is Famous? Because I don't remember what happened with him last season. Somebody refresh my memory of where's Famous, what's going on with Famous. When they ask about Famous, nobody seems to know. Kanan don't know, this one don't know. But that was interesting. But we see Lulu, going home, and he disgusted with how his place looks, and rightfully so, so he's cleaning up that. But then he did speak to that executive, and he told him, he said, listen, what was the guy's name? B-Rilla, played by actual rapper Party. He says, listen, I need to go. I like him, and I want to speak to him. Let me talk to him, this, that, the third. He goes to the jail to talk to him. There was a little bit of comic relief there as the B-Rilla comes up in there. He smacks one of those other inmates before he goes talking to Lou. And Lou says, listen, I want you, I think you have potential. I know you're upset, you're in here and the record label didn't do you right, but I think you have potential and I want to work with you. And he tells him, I could get you out of here. And I'm like, how he gonna get him out of here? But I forgot they have that lawyer, Andre. So Lou pulls some strings, gets B-Rilla out, and now they're back at the club performing, this, that, and the third. And I thought all of that was pretty good. Now, Marvin is still doing dirty work for Stefano. This time he wants him to deal with somebody who's been skimming money, a bookie that's been skimming money off the top. And I'm like, Rock still doesn't know that Marvin is working with Stefano. And I'm like, okay, on the side, like a little side job. Now this side job, he's supposed to just rough the dude up, because he did such a good job with Stefano's son-in-law. And, now Stefano's going to be a grandfather. But now he's like, look, I need you to go over there, just rough him up. He makes good money for me. Don't kill him, just rough him up. Marvin goes there, does more than roughs him up. He didn't like the way the guy was talking to. The guy was calling him a step and fetch for the white man, this, that, and the third. And, I call the shots. You don't call anything. You just a step and fetch for the white man. So Marvin kills him, shoots him, and said, well, did you call these shots? Marvin ain't playing it. We also seen him, with his new underground drug dealing thing going on in the Chinese restaurant. He caught that dude's nephew stealing some of the supply, and he tells him, yo, he's stealing supplies. What you think this is? And then he, makes him pull his pants down, and the drugs drop out. So yeah, Marvin's not playing. So that was that. But I wonder how Stefano's going to take this, that he's killed the guy, because Stefano was like, he just wanted him to scare him, not kill him, but he ends up killing him. So now we have Kanan and his dealings with Pops and Snap. I love their names, Pops and Snap. And he's there with Rock, and pretty much they're telling him, you ain't out to clear, you owe us more, we got to get something in our return. And, Rock at first tried to interfere in the conversation. It was like, well, listen, Ronnie's dead. They said, listen, this ain't had nothing to do with you. We ain't make no deal with you, sweetheart. We made a deal with your son. So she kind of falls back a little bit. And Kanan's upset, but she tell him, Kanan, relax. You got to relax, because they do have a point. They're like, listen, your little money you did with this, you still got to deal with us, because you the one took out your own partner. We didn't ask you to do that, and we got to know if we can trust you and if there's loyalty. So he's, bucking up a little bit, and then he's seen Pops and Snaps, people stand up, and Rock was like, Kanan, let's leave. And they have a conversation outside, and she's trying to talk to him, and he's pretty much upset with her, and he's like, do you even know what right or wrong is? You killed my father. So he still has some issues. Although those two seem to be dealing with each other on a business level, on a personal level, he's still a little bit pissed off at Rock because she killed his daddy. But she said, listen, I had to do what I had to do. And she's telling him, you got to make sure you make the right moves. And I thought all of that was pretty interesting. But that's not all of Kanan's issues. Then he had his girlfriend, Crystal, upset with him because Crystal wants to make a baby. She wants him to have a child and all of that. He ain't ready for all that. So all of that is very interesting to me. Very interesting. Now, one of Rock's issues is when she goes to sit down with Quan has upped the prices on her. And she's like, yo, what? You can't just do this. I just did. Have a nice day. So he kind of played her. And she goes to Stefano and she's upset. And she tells Stefano, you know, this is pissing me off. And she asks Stefano if she can be a supplier. And he says, well, if you can make that happen, we'll see. So all of that is going to be very interesting. Very, very interesting to me. Very interesting. And now, another thing Rock learns is that she learns from her lawyer, Andre, that the FBI wants her to now turn on Stefano. So she's like, yo, you want me to be a snitch? Are you crazy? And I'm like, very interesting stuff. And while they're talking, they go outside. Her and Andre hug. Andre's been a good lawyer to her. Guess who's watching? Unique is watching. And Unique jumping to conclusions. He's upset. He's watching. He sees them hug. And, you know, he got feelings for Rock now. He's feeling betrayed. He don't know what's going on. So we watch him follow Andre to Andre's apartment. He says, oh, you in love with her now? Oh, you effing her now? Well, she's only going to F you. And then before Andre could get to say anything, Unique kills him. So really good episode. Lots going on, lots of twists. Oh, I'm almost leaving something out. We also learn further, we see further, Kanan going to the hospital, to the doctor with his grandmother, Joyce. And her cancer has progressed and she's dying. And she still has not told her children. She's only told Kanan. And Kanan's like, Grandma, how long you can't keep this? You got to tell the family. Now, how is this secret going to affect them? How's it going to affect Lulu? How's it going to affect Marvin? How's it going to affect Rock? You know, that this is going to be interesting, especially with Lulu just coming out of rehab. How's this going to affect him knowing his mother is dying? You know, that's going to be really interesting. And I almost forgot to talk about that. You see that? But anyway, I thought this was a really good episode. This show is always good, though. This show is always good. And my thing is now, what's going to happen next? I say this with every time. What's going to happen next? Because now he done killed Andre. Andre was a good lawyer to Rock. He had good connections up in there. That's going to be interesting how they handle that. And I can't wait to see what happens when Rock finds out that Unique is still alive. You know what I'm saying? And how all that's going to play out. And where in the hell is Famous? Somebody refresh my memory, please, of what happened with him. So that's all I have for now. I thought it was a really good episode. This show is, the writers are always solid with this show. I enjoy this, and I can't wait for the next one. That's all I have for now. Thank you all for watching, and you all be blessed.